привет! Всем привет! Привет!
Oh my god, what?
Get a rent. Thank you. Didn't notice him.
fucking lieutenant chewing me out for moving the refinery crane when I'm like clearly just moving my concrete pallet 20 meters.
Hey, Worm.
He's like, what are you doing? Don't move that. I respect it, but also like just pay like a little bit of attention. It's pretty fucking obvious that I'm not stealing the crane. Like, well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's just my perspective of like, I'm not gonna start telling people what's what until I know I fucking understand what I'm talking about. But, you know, that's just my opinion.
I want to blow up this backside.
Yeah, I mean, getting ready to concrete. Probably just sort that out ASAP.
Did it one.
Interesting idea. I might want to. Might go weapons lock faster, I don't know.
Only got an engine. Just two. Hit it. It's only 7.
I'm about to smoke. I'll come over and send some.
Got hydros with.
Yeah. I think it's just passing the truck in most situations anyway. That's what I'm looking for now, but I don't see a truck in town. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about concrete. Actually hammering out concrete is not worth it in ACD, usually in my opinion. But if you just like, yep, digging boxes, definitely. Sea and Odyssey at North Base. The RPG. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, a couple of hours ago. To be fair, there were a bunch of partisans on the Foxhole port to the west. Like literally like half an hour after I concreted the obs, they showed up. It's convenient. Yeah, I was kind of imagining just trenching out.
Yeah, totally.
Kind of like as far up to that northwest border as we can get. Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I was like, well, we should wait until concrete is teched so we can just trench, conk, demolish trench. 0%.
Got
Yeah,
we got.
to use a Hydra for that. Not here.
No. On 0.
Alright. Alright, mate.
You can help rebuild if you want to.
No, I got enough of that to do myself. Alright, let's take it easy.
I retain my text and my.
Yep.
Great, because we were 1 text short.
Yeah, I saw that. I was thinking about doing something, but yeah, nice. I'll finish this bit and make a door.
I don't think that. Got to be on the out. I don't know why it's like. I'll be back in a minute.
one seems to care. No one wants to look into the light. I hear a baby crying. No one wants to know. Her mother made a wrong turn down a dead end road. Now she's lost in her own tears. There's gotta be a better way of life. Oh, no.
Marcavius, can you set spawn at the southwest bottom of concrete?
Southwest.
Mark to my X. What do you mean? Wreckage is good.
Add drunk.
Yeah, wreckage only shows up when you're not looking for it. That's the golden rule.
Get a tank.
100%. Just drive around in a fucking armored car. But even then, it's like you have to be QRFing a partisan or driving to a front, and then it'll show up.
Literally said you.
Yeah, uploading that post as well, please.
What field was it? Got that guy?
Which coalfield?
What field you?
No, that's RD. Okay, sick. Speaking of which, the power's fixed at this factory now. Just have 3 liquefiers cooking concrete. Like 1.5 pallets here in private. Bro, what the fuck is with this region? It's two fucking no ranks arguing with one another. The Sacred Angel was the same guy that yelled at me for moving the crane before when I was concreting. So funny.
rocking it.
Tama rin. Speakers in. One. One, two, three. Check, check, check.
Oh look, in the Jeep? Yeah. Well. That's lucky.
Carter, what on?
Yeah, you're a bit choppy.
Check, check, check. One, two, three, one, two.
Yeah.
I feel like beginning of what I say in Vivox gets cut off.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I didn't really notice it because I feel like I also just kind of assumed it was Firefox the way it did shit. Who knows?
Yeah, thank you. I got it, boo.
I mean, building a bridge on the other side is it's kind of just avoiding bridge fights, right? You hold the bridge at your base, and if they kill your base, they just cross the bridge. And you're like, well, fuck it. They're on the other side of the bridge now, but at least it's not a bridge fight. I kind of like it, to be honest. I might do that more often. I don't know. I never go to bridge fights, so I know that my perspective is skewed. I think for new plays, this game is 80% bridge fight, And the more experience you get, the less that ratio goes down until it becomes 0%. Because you're just doing other shit that's more high impact than standing in a bridge fight. You're in West March asking all of the bridge fighters to QRF the flank up. That's what happens. So I'm at Singing Serpents, and there are 2 pallets worth of concrete here. I'm gonna take one.
Sweet.
But
Hell yeah.
just saying.
Where's it? Where's Singing Sir?
Drowned Vale.
Oh, okay.
Just
Hell yeah.
northeast of the baths.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Liquefiers are right on the coal
Yeah, if
field,
it's in
so
public,
you
it's
just
in
go to the
public.
coal. Yeah, yeah. I filled up the public one completely, and then I started just filling up my refinery queue because there was 32k coal, so I have like a tiny bit private. Yeah, that's like 220 public here.
They didn't kill the enemy CV. Didn't rebuild the bridge on the Prairie Bazaar or whatever side. What did they do? They wasn't like Christ.
Merge up, as light as a feather. I wonder if I'll ever grace the sky with you forever, when it feels like we are clouds caught in heavy, stormy weather.
And my wife made bacon, potato, and eggs. Breakfast.
Yeah.
Y'all got diner chains in Australia? Like we got
I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like diner has a very specific Americanized connotation. Like, we call nothing a diner. It's like we have fast food places, and you can sit down and eat in them. And then it's like, yeah, I don't know. Just
Yeah,
varying
diner's a whole
degrees of
different kind of thing.
fanciness from there. I don't know.
It's like pseudo fancy. It's like work class fancy, and then it's you know, like big on the breakfast menu, fucking steak, burgers, bar food.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like that niche is filled by pubs here mostly.
Yeah.
It is kind of the Australian equivalent of like the middle class place to hang out and eat. It's like also where you buy beer.
Oh, for sure. That's what people in cities do. Go to bar. We need ACV to make a tier 3 base. Oh, let me see.
I don't know. I think
No,
I've seen
apparently
some,
not.
so I doubt it. Probably. No, because
There's one by the baths.
no, because then you could. It would be fucking heinous to like capture enemy tier 3. I see that shit happen a bunch. Basically, CB.
Fighter buffet. Yeah, this just sounds like Osh.
I don't know anything about a spider buffet.
Have you ever eaten what it was basically koalas, right?
What?
The drop bears.
Spiders?
I only call them drop bears, but they're just
I don't know what they call drop bears, but no one in Australia seriously says drop bear.
fuck yeah.
It's an entirely just a prank that was invented to like prank the rest of the world, basically. Like, yeah, they're koalas, but like.
No, do they serve them? Or is that illegal?
No, as far as I'm aware, koalas are not eaten here. I'm pretty sure they're like protected by law in every state, probably the federal level as well. We eat like kangaroo and emu. But in terms of other like classic Australian creatures, I don't really think of anything else. I mean, we eat shark. Does that count? Crocodile.
No, people made a prank called drop bears, that there was an actual animal called drop bears that drop out of grab on, but it's just koalas
I mean,
and hang out with you.
that being said, I would not be surprised to learn of like certain indigenous Australian cultures having eaten koala traditionally amongst other creatures, but there's not a
Right.
there's no like mainstream demand for it today.
Yeah, they're pretty cute. Koalas. Right. Yeah, Americans just eat.
Yeah, I've always been curious to try like alligator or crocodile. I imagine it would just be like so hard to chew because they're just like super muscly, like they're fucking ripped animals.
I mean,
But maybe
It's like-
farmed while it's hard.
this tastes like chicken jerky. Be right back.
The fucking emu war is just the most. I find that so annoying because it's just like, I don't know. What the fuck were they thinking? Everyone knows. Everyone knew that it was just like fucking pointless and stupid and there was no reason to do it. And then they did it anyway, and now the rest of the world laughs at Australia forever. Because these few fucking morons were like, I don't know, just like hyped to shoot guns or whatever. Oh, fuck it, dude. Let's invent a reason to kill heaps of emus. It's like, bruh, just build a fence. Build a fucking fence to keep the emu out of your farm. It's not hard. You don't need to like cull the pop. Just build a fucking fence. Like, I don't know, man. So embarrassing. They build a fence for everything else. For foxes, for rabbits.
Get this one good layer of concrete down.
Yep. Well, that's the thing, and also I'm kind of looking at Golden Root Ranch. Like, there's a lot of space down there. Defense already built. Maybe we could figure something out with people for parking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got spam half.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, the west line is pretty set up for highways for what I've built for now. There's one more spot I can fit, but I need to disconnect the trench. That's, I don't know how to describe it. Basically, I have the bunker tech splitting into a Y, and I can't have both of the things connected at once, so I need to fully build one side with concrete and Howie, and then fill in the trench, and then build the trench to the other piece. Does that make sense? But like, we're not far off having like a basic 270 perimeter. Like a tiny bit northwest, southwest. And it's like all bobs are linked basically.
How we doing?
Rizzo, where do you want me to put this wreckage? North bob. I'll put it in the box. Yes.
I'm blueprinting. There's wreckage in this fucking liquor transfer station as well. Just so you know.
Better start pulling the public ones out of the refinery then. I think someone was slow cooking them, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's 4, but you literally said leave no trace, so I'm just saying.
One trace.
4 traces. Do you have a pallet?
There's another pallet. Was.
I used all the pallets that I put.
Oh, you used it.
So
Okay,
right, right now there's one by the west bob near the refinery. I'm porting. I'm getting the second.
Yo.
Okay, second pallet on the way.
Thanks for raid, dude. Hell yeah, man. What do you call it? Just cooking potatoes and onions and bacon and eggs for my wife and I. I'm like AFK. We're doing the concrete finally. Racing to howitzer. Racing to get this up. If anybody wants to help, we're in Foundry. Wildwood. Pallets or components. God, just these howitzer. Get that first. Got almost every house.
Sick. Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna be a while for Howie's in the southwest, but we'll see.
Oh yeah. Man's got 3 seats. Oh yeah. Don't steal my vehicles, but you go. Second half.
Yeah, I mean, if I see a sign that says "Don't take my vehicle" and it's next to 1 vehicle, I'm like, okay, I'll consider that. If I see it next to 5 vehicles, it's like, that sign can't stop me because I can't read.
Yeah, like look at Salt Farm.
Point.
Most of Deadland.
Yeah. And same in Lockmore, like if we lose Fearmore, it's gonna be hard to hold anything else next.
Yeah. Yeah, besides the people base, I don't know who else is. Six. Like I think Rod is doing it at their field.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like 1x3s from what I see. Like, it's concrete, but like, there's no fucking Howies or anything over there. If you're talking about the coal field,
Yeah.
that's where I was. It's just 1x3s.
Oh. Fucking delicious. Mmm. Breakfast for dinner. I would be going to gym. Huh? Fucking amazing. Tons more. Yeah, that's seasonings on. Hazel. Time. Karlovic. Parsley. Also cooked in. Yeah, and that potatoes roll. Oh, it's right. All in one. Hmm. Oh wow, that was good. We have a microwave, yay. Oh my god. Okay. I think I'm gonna put something on the stream and go smoke here. Find some. How to design a Soviet.
When we talk about Soviet aircraft in the Cold War, we tend to focus on the industry's famous names: MiG, Sukhoi, Yakovlev, Tupolev. We sensibly assume that these organizations were broadly analogous to their Western
back, yo.
counterparts. But the deeper one gets down the rabbit hole of Cold War aviation, the more one realizes that there are fundamental differences between the aviation industries on the two sides of the Iron Curtain. And those differences account for many of the successes and failures of each side in terms of combat aircraft design and manufacturing. In this video, I'm going to focus on the systems and structures of the Soviet aircraft industry. On the 28th of June 1918, Lenin nationalized Russia's aircraft factories. This was to a large extent pointless, as many of them had already been looted and burned in the ongoing fighting. Worse still, many of the managers and engineers had decided that it was best not to be in a position of authority, and had either gone to fight, fled to the countryside, or fled the country entirely. But despite these immediate travails, Lenin's decree started the process that would conceive, design, and build the Soviet Air Force. One of the only surviving factories was the former Dux plant in Moscow. It had originally been a bicycle factory, converting to aircraft manufacture in 1910 and producing license-built French fighters for the Russian Air Force. As it was available and somewhat famous, it was redesignated as State Aircraft Factory No. 1, shortened to GAZ-1. With the government systems of Imperial Russia essentially destroyed, the new Soviet state needed to set up its own organizations. Given the obvious importance of science in modern armed conflict, one of the first to be created in June 1918 was the Scientific Technical Department of the Supreme Council of the National Economy. This was snappy and succinct, as was its abbreviation, NTO-VSNKH. Andrei Tupolev was amongst the small number of respected administrators and engineers that formed the executive of this new organization. He was also one of the advocates for the creation of a separate aerodynamic and hydrodynamic section, which was agreed upon in October 1918 and formally established in December. This was TSAGI, the Central Aerodynamic and Hydrodynamic Institute, based at No. 17 Radio Street. It initially had a staff of 33 and was tasked to design gun and bomb mounts for the random collection of aircraft that the Red Air Force had acquired during the revolutionary chaos. From early 1919, they were also able to start work on their own research, using a wind tunnel looted from a university and various other scientific instruments. From 1921, Tupolev headed up the Aviation and Hydrodynamics Department within TSAGI, known as the AGO. Its responsibility was the design and construction of aeroplanes, seaplanes, aerosleighs, which is a kind of airboat, and fast torpedo boats. The department struggled to get the broken aviation industry into a shape in which it could actually design and produce an aircraft. Their first step in that direction was to sign a deal with Junkers to establish a factory for heavy aircraft in the Moscow suburbs. The intention was to both set up the factory, make aeroplanes on Russian soil, and start to train Russian workers to produce such machines. Doing that also entailed starting to produce aircraft-grade aluminium alloys in quantity. Soviet scientists succeeded not only in setting up a plant, but devising a new and high-performing alloy called Kolchug. Production began in small quantities in 1923 under the auspices of VIAM, another department within TSAGI. Simultaneously, a parallel organization was set up to develop aircraft engines, called SIAM, the Central Institute of Aviation Motors. The next task was to design an aircraft. This was very challenging, as there were only about 30 people in the Soviet Union who had ever even been involved in designing an aircraft. Only Grigorovich and Polyarkov had ever made an aircraft worth a damn, and none of them had actually entered quantity production. Tupolev himself, really an administrator by background, also started to dabble, based on his experience with Junkers. To get things up and running, he picked out a number of designers to head up their own experimental construction bureaus. The acronym for this was, in Russian as you'd expect, OKB. To start with, at least, they were based at Radio Street, where a massive new development and construction facility was built in 1925. Amongst its facilities was the largest wind tunnel in the world. Although still chaotic, the quality of leadership in the early industry made it impressively progressive. Predictably, in this phase of the Soviet Union, Tupolov's success in getting early aircraft, like the Ant-3 reconnaissance biplane, the massive Ant-4 monoplane heavy bomber, and others built, meant that he was imprisoned, albeit briefly. It was significantly preferable to be connected and mediocre in the first decades of the Soviet Union. Getting aircraft from design to production remained challenging. The Junkers factory was taken over and nationalized as Gaz-22 on the 1st of March 1927, and other factories and material plants were gradually coming together. At the time, the only other aircraft design organization in the Soviet Union was the Central Design Bureau, TSKB to the Soviets, at Gaz-39. This had been set up by the NKVD, one of the precursors of the KGB. In it were imprisoned designers that they judged to be questionably loyal but technically useful. It was run by Sergei Ilyushin, a skilled administrator and, like Tupolev, not yet a full-time aircraft designer. To accelerate progress, in August 1931, efforts began to merge these two organizations into one, creatively named TSKB Tsagi. In May of 1932, a reorganization of the merged entity began, creating a specific design department reporting to Tupolev and known as Kossos. Once this was done, Tupolev created OKBs to focus on the design of different types of aircraft. A couple of famous figures assigned bureaus at this point were Petlyakov, in charge of large aircraft, and Sukhoi, who got fighters and aircraft intended to set performance records. In total, there were 9 brigades covering an eclectic mix of subjects, as set out in this table. The reorganization didn't last long. Ilyushin noted that the large entity remained unwieldy and proposed splitting out a prototype construction bureau at Gaz-39 and putting Ilyushin himself in charge of light aircraft development based there. TSKB therefore was almost immediately re-established, but free of NKVD influence. Heavy aircraft OKBs nominally came under the auspices of Tupolev and fighters under Ilyushin. Ilyushin's OKBs included Polyakov, responsible for fighters, and Beriev for seaplanes. He quickly came to the conclusion that further work on new aircraft designs would happen faster if the OKBs each had their own factory. Chizevsky and Beriev thus left TSKB and were installed in their own facilities at Smolensk and Taganrog, respectively. The remainder of the designers worked in what was effectively the Ilyushin OKB. Through this combination of actions, speed of design was revolutionized, leading to new aircraft types, most notably the Ant-40 high-speed bomber from Kossos, of which over 6,500 were built, and they formed the vast bulk of Soviet frontline aircraft strength in 1941. Stalin embarked on his paranoid purges in the mid-1930s. Somehow, Ilyushin avoided scrutiny, perhaps because of his history with the NKVD and his scrupulous commitment to decentralizing power in his organization. But in October 1937, it was Tupolev's turn. He was arrested and taken to Lubyanka, charged with the patently false crime of giving the Germans the design for the Bf-110. There he stayed until August 1938, when Beria himself assigned him to a makeshift design bureau in some sheds at a prison in Moscow. Eventually, they were moved back into their old offices, which were now a pseudo-prison, and they were able to carry on designing from the middle of 1940. While Tupolev was imprisoned, further changes were made to the way in which aircraft requirements were devised. The first formal body attempting to install some kind of strategic control on the defense industry was the People's Commissariat for Military and Naval Affairs of the Soviet Union. It was a massively powerful single central body for military command and control of the armed forces. Established on November 12, 1923, its first People's Commissar was one Leon Trotsky. As Stalin started the Great Purge, he went through a process of dissolving and neutering the stronger organizing bodies within the Soviet system. In June 1934, the Commissariat for Military and Naval Affairs was dissolved. Aircraft requirements were then supplied to Sagi and its satellites from an organization called NCOP, the People's Commissariat for the Defense Industry. NCOP covered every aspect of that industry, and arguably none of them very well. So in March 1938, the Defense Committee, under the Council of People's Commissars, which is essentially the top level of the Soviet structure, formed the Aviation Council, an advisory body for the construction of military and civil aviation and aeronautics. Based on the work of this body, on January 11, 1939, NCOP was divided into 4 independent People's Commissariats, among which was the People's Commissariat for the Aviation Industry, otherwise known as NCAP. On January the 21st, the main departments, enterprises and educational institutions were transferred to NCAP from NCOP. Its objective was to improve the planning and organization of the aircraft industry in the run-up to the inevitable war with Germany and Japan. After the war, the Soviet industry received its last major reorganization and reached the structure it would remain in for most of the Cold War. Most significantly, NCAP was reorganized into the Ministry of Aircraft Production, or MAP. MAP had close control of the industry, including the aviation factories. Although their number designation stays relatively constant throughout, the way those factories are referred to changes during the Soviet period. Initially they were GAZ and then the number. From the 1930s they were Zavod, then the number tends to be used as well. After that, the way they're referred to varies. Factories are often referred to via their location, the factory name, and then some generic word, such as Gorky Machine Building Factory Sokol. I think this was mostly to give some love to the cities and regions, and also an attempt to confuse Western intelligence services. Around 30 factories built combat aircraft from 1945 to 1991, with some specializing on particular types of aircraft. Successful designs were often built in many locations simultaneously. The MiG-15, for example, was built in 8 different factories in a 4-year period, resulting in 9,300 single-seat aircraft in 2 versions. Tight compartmentalization of information and resources in the Soviet system meant that it was hard for OKBs to access the latest science, use wind tunnels and computers, or obtain information about new engine or weapons developments without authorization from MAP. Their ability to pursue their own projects and thus advance the field was heavily constrained. In the boom period of the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, this problem was worked around by allowing multiple OKBs to develop flying prototypes and even short runs of production aircraft before a winner was declared and mass production began. Tasagi was also able to effectively hand full design concepts over to the OKBs for development into aircraft. The Su-9 Fishpot is probably the best example of this. It was a Sagi aerodynamic study based on data from the Korean War that Sukhoi was able to rapidly develop into a functioning aircraft. As the Soviet economy began to struggle in the 1970s, MAP took to assessing designs on paper much earlier in the process. Prototypes therefore became much better developed and more sophisticated as a result. But in turn, this meant that flawed ideas were now more difficult to back out of, and hence the Soviet Air Forces ended up with the MiG-23 family. As central control began to fall away in the 1970s, MAP's ability to coordinate the activities of the aircraft avionics engine and weapons designers was critically reduced. Furthermore, they were unable to optimize production, which was separate from design in the Soviet system. Overall productivity in the industry therefore fell further without any benefits from an innovation perspective. The severe conceptual flaws in the MiG-29 and the struggle to mass-produce the Su-27 can be traced back to these issues at MAP. But in saying all of this, it should be remembered that the Western military-industrial complexes were hardly perfect either throughout this period, although the freewheeling innovation inherent in the capitalist system ultimately proved superior to the rigorous planning of the communist one in aircraft development terms at least. There were many OKBs in the Soviet Union. Rather than go into all of them here, I'll focus on the key ones making fighter and light aircraft in order to illustrate how they were structured. 5 OKBs produced fighters during the Cold War period. In 1938, Semyon Lavochkin teamed up with Gordonov and Gutkov to produce the Lag-1 and Lag-3 fighters. These were followed by the successful LA-5, but by the end of the war, Lavochkin's partners had moved on. His design bureau then designed a long series of jet fighters, but very few production aircraft saw service. Lavochkin died in 1969, and his OKB was turned to missile and spacecraft design. In 1939, Artyom Mikoyan was asked to form an experimental design bureau, an OKO, within the Polyarkov OKB. He was there to develop a new fighter, but was only willing to do so if his close friend Mikhail Gurievich was allowed to join him. The pair produced the delicate but unimpressive MiG-1 Interceptor, and their piston-engined aircraft were consistently uninspired. Their jets, however, launched a dynasty that continues in some part to this day. Pavel Sukhoi learned his trade in aircraft design under Tupolev. He was able to form his own OKB in September 1939, but it wasn't until the end of the war that his designs really began to take off, as it were. Unfortunately, Sukhoi fell out of favor with Stalin in 1949 and his OKB was taken away, but on Stalin's death in 1953 it was reinstated and Sukhoi would grow in prominence until his own death in 1975. Mikhail Simonov then took the OKB to new heights, culminating in the Flanker series. Alexander Yakovlev was the most successful of the wartime fighter designers. Another late 1930s recipient of OKB leadership, his lightweight and fast Yak-3 was probably the best Soviet fighter of the war. Yakovlev's jets were much less successful, but the man himself was very well connected politically, particularly to Stalin. He therefore tended to be able to shape aircraft design policy in his favor. He was also instrumental in Tupolev's imprisonment for political unreliability, which further alienated him from the other designers. Younger than his contemporaries, he died in 1989. At the top of each of these OKBs was a chief designer. Initially, the OKB was eponymous with that individual, but as those businesses became more established and as export sales became more important, the OKB names were retained when the founder died or was otherwise incapacitated. The chief designer's work was monitored by an inspector general, who was usually a retired military officer. This job was one of quality control, but also retained a kind of monitoring of political reliability. This person was the Ministry of Defence's stooge, as it were. The chief designer had a deputy to assist with the workload and an expediter whose role was to plan work within the OKB, kind of like a chief operating officer in the modern parlance. Operationally, the OKB was split down into 5 departments, the most influential of which was technology. Usually headed by the first assistant chief designer, typically an up-and-coming designer himself, it was further divided into 2 pieces. The design teams were mostly responsible for development of discrete parts of the aircraft, like wings, landing gear, and controls. The exceptions were the configuration team, who were in charge of integrating all of the pieces into a whole, and the dynamics team, who worked with flight tests to figure out how to improve the way the aircraft flew, in combination with the other sub-teams. The other branch of the technology department dealt with
Alright, I'm back. There is a chance that we use this concrete, man. Be cool if we do. Be cool and not cool.
Back.
Hell yeah.
How much do you still have in that mixer? Concrete.
62. I'm gonna use like 5.
I took the second pallet. I'm gonna finish conking as much as I can on the far west.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna finish it and then move it then, I guess. Go get more.
Yeah. There might be another paladin singing serpents by now, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check. Fuck, I need a truck for this one, so I'll just wait for you.
I'm on the way. Here, I got 12.
Are you done?
No, I got 5 to go.
Yeah. Because I'll need it for a bit, so just finish up.
Alright, go ahead. It's all you. I don't know, man. That's a fine place for it with the heavy truck. I'm just gonna keep it there since we use the heavy now.
When?
I'm gonna keep the mixer there for now since we're using the heavy anyway. We got
Yeah.
some shit to do up here anyway. It's a fine place where it's out of the way. At some point we gotta make Logi. Get all the new shit, put it in.
Yeah. Especially this west one, it's already seen some action.
Oh, really nice.
Yeah, there was some partisans on the border west of Foundry.
Okay, taking your flatbed.
Okay. Yeah, there's an empty pallet there if you want to take.
Where did you,
It's near Brazil's liquid transfer station. There's like a Howie corner. a
Winter
crane,
Pens is
and,
the one that has the fucking concrete, right?
Singing serpents in the
Singing
box.
serpents. Okay, I got it. No, I was gonna build that one bath spot that we built before, but somebody got it to me before. What's up, dude? You here to help build for concrete? You here to help do some design? I got a hole for you to fill. You wanna come fill a hole? I'll show you.
Yeah. Like there is a hole in the defense here.
Yeah, there's quite a few holes. These are just like tech bobs. And these are like the core bob proper, right? And then you can use these bobs for tech. There's this one. There's the one that's just north of the refinery. There's one to the southwest of town. And then there's where it says Vote Conk here. And then there's one to the
I see.
there's one to the east of town, southeast.
Did you build all of this alone?
3 people. I designed it. And then Yode's here designed the west side.
Okay.
Yeah, man. We need concrete
Crazy,
for
man,
foundry.
crazy. Yeah. It's an important city. Like I know it is.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want
are
to
link me
build
heads up, I can make some halberd if you want, because I see a lot of W.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll EMS up. Come and look real quick. I have to show you just this one part. So you know about the rail, right?
Yeah.
So we definitely want to retain rail access because we want to be able to use rail storm cannon later. If you have to push it into rapid decay zone, you can, but you should be able to fit halberds here and have enough
Yeah, no,
room.
I will not push in the rapid decay zone because I know it's a pain in the ass, really.
Yeah.
I did it before and it's not fun.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah, I trust you. Splinter Pens is where we're going for concrete, and then obviously we're going south
Singing
Great March.
serpents.
Or yeah, Singing
serpents.
Serpents. Singing Serpents is where we're going for concrete. And then we're going south to Great March for components for the mixer.
So
Yeah.
wait, the rail is here.
Yeah, the rail is just gonna come, you know, just hug the bunkers, basically.
Yeah,
Can
it's
be
gonna be in front, like
Like right in front of the bunkers.
ah,
But yeah, you can remove this if you need to, as long as it ends up being connected later. It doesn't matter, you know?
yeah. But
Yeah,
you
you
guys
can-
have did a great job, like.
We did what we can.
somebody-
We wanted to at least get the cores, like the cores of the bunkers protected. Okay, let me take you to
Yeah.
the South Bob. I'm actually really proud of it. Not tech concrete. I can't wait till it's concrete. Go get my Jeep. Hang on.
This is north. Oh yeah, you're taking the car.
Hang on, my F buttons are not working.
Ah,
Fucking function locked. Okay, go ahead and hop in. I can't press F1.
yeah, sometimes it's just bug. Oh. Problem is, I think we will have to do a second line of defense.
Several what? Additions? Yeah, no, you do whatever you want, man. Halberds,
Yeah.
you know, just build it as big as you want, man. Hey, make that into a fire truck.
See that leg?
Oh, yes, it's pretty, man. We had cars all over before. Yeah, look at this thing, man. We called it Bob Eagle. My wife pointed out it's an octagon, perfect octagon.
How the
Here's-
fuck did you connect the trench so close? Like,
You have to do it canted a little bit. So like, you see how this one is like off to the side a little bit? This
Yeah.
diagonal
Yo, get him
counts
to
more
vote
length.
concrete at that Bob.
Yeah, vote
Oh.
concrete here, by the way. Put your spawn and vote concrete. We're almost done. Yeah, maybe I'll move the mixer down there, actually.
that's nice, Bob.
Yeah, this one we had room to build, so I went all out. And I'll show you the other one. Uh-oh. Yeah, you can drive in and out. All the bobs that I like to make, you have like a drive for Logi to go one way or the other, because it could get attacked from either side, and Logi needs to be able to come from one side or the other. And here's the other one.
What the hell? Oh, it's not connected.
Yeah, it is connected.
Oh.
It's underground trenches. You see, pull out your hammer and press F. You see underground trenches?
How did you do that? Like,
You do
I-
you do a small rail, and then you can do underground trench under the small
yeah,
rail,
the rails.
and then you can destroy the
Right.
trench after you're done. Let me actually, I forgot to fuel this bunker over here. Make sure when you build howitzers and engine rooms, definitely
Yeah,
both.
yeah, it's the main thing that I want to build a howitzer, because
But don't
when they come to the foundry, they will have SPGs, and they will use the SPGs.
yeah,
Or
lots of
They may use the RSC if they come to here, but I don't think they will come that far. But if
yeah.
they
We'll
come,
see.
they will
We'll
be
see.
welcome.
Yeah, dude. No, I made a mistake right here. That's why I had to put this ancillary engine room, but okay, whatever. Yeah, this is
They
actually
have room, I think.
this right here. Is the edge of the safe house and town-based AI. So this is actually supporting a little bit more length of AI going north. So you'll be able to tie in defenses north and up and around. Feel free to ask for flaggers for this thing over here as well. Here, let's go get the car. Actually, I'm gonna leave the car.
I might not build everything. I will just build a few meta, because I'm a solo builder.
No, it's okay,
So
bro.
I cannot build the entirety of Foundry alone, you know?
No, it's okay, bro. Take your time, man. Don't burn out. We're gonna handle MSUPs, so just make sure whatever you're building is in range of our MSUP tunnels at these bobs, and if not, then make an MSUP tunnel and let me get you in the squad. Dude, I can't hear. Hop out real quick. Make me squad leader. There we go. Fucking, what do you call it? Just lock your MSUP tunnels to this squad.
Why? Do you have people stealing?
We might, because it's, might have alts, because it's Foundry.
Oh, okay.
And we just want to make sure. But yeah, take your time, do whatever you want, man. This is the town. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, man. Really, thank you. You're a great help, and thank you for handling the MSAPs, so we can be free to build.
Yeah, totally, dude.
I will try to get a few good builders, like people from unit, to come take a look here.
Yeah, for sure. No, I've been bringing them heavy oil down there at their comp field so we can bring more comps up here. I think I'm gonna actually go visit that. I might have some comps for Compcrete. Yeah, I'm moving the crane down with the mixer to the southwest mob.
Sounds good.
How's everybody doing in chat? Make sure y'all are following. If you're not already, it's fucking free. And if you want, you can sub. It's September, so it's a bit cheaper. You get really dank emotes. You sub. Fucking, this is the boring part of the war for Birbs. Making concrete and shit, but after a while it's gonna get cool. We're gonna use our concrete. It's gonna be fun. Making concrete is annoying, but using concrete is dope.
I still wish we had a specialty vehicle for it.
Yeah, I know, man. Need like a concrete mixer truck. Millennials need a fucking tracked one.
Yeah.
You know Kowloon Walton City?
Yeah.
Kowloonials. It's gonna be packed with howitzers in here, man. concrete decked.
Oh, F. Okay, sick. That's actually perfect timing. Oh my god. Hell yeah.
Okay, guys, change your vote to the north one to Howie. And I think I'm gonna actually get out of here for tonight. I don't want to burn out.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll let all this shit dry.
Yeah, for sure. I'm coming to do subs tomorrow morning. Like, I don't know, like 10, 12 hours from now. We should be fine.
Yeah, sick.
Especially after concreting that north side. Alright, I'll see you.
Alright, bye.
Bro, what's going on with my keyboard? Alright, you guys, I'll see you.